Hey Kyle, this is Mark from the Touch 'em Up podcast. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Mark. How are you doing? Thank you.
Good. Good. I have talked to Jake Manini, Rob Font, Kelvin Cater, Tyson Chartier on my podcast before. I've actually probably had them on more than anybody. And since you left the UFC, I know you've worked with Jake on your striking, probably out of Hard Knocks Boston. I'm not 100% sure on that, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. But what do you think is the biggest improvement in your striking game that you've made since you left the UFC?
The biggest improvement in my striking game is just mixing it up, varying up the tempo, keep the jab in your face, exiting off the combos, and just keeping the pressure.
Thank you. Do you feel that your volume has gone up substantially in like these last few fights? Do you feel like your combos have gotten a lot smoother? And you said varying up the tempo, so sometimes, touch, 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 rip, rip. Do you feel like that has improved vastly in your last few fights?
Yeah, I think I'm feeling a lot more comfortable on my feet, so my striking volume has gone up exponentially. I'm not looking for the home run shot every single time. I'm not getting right hand happy. I'm varying up the tempo, so I'm allowing to put more power on shots because I'm not trying to kill guys every single shot. So I've been able to mix it up, different ranges, leg kicks, calf kicks, body kicks, teeps, flying knees, spinning back fists, anything. So, and I got cardio for days, so my volume has gone up.
Okay. And then my last question, you're coming into this fight against somebody who I think was heavily expected to get towards the finals in the last season. I think a lot of people expected him to, get far, and it didn't really work out for him. He had some great performances as well, but coming into your first PFL season, I'm sure you're coming in here, you're looking to put a stamp on that first victory. You're looking to come in here and make a statement, but what is your message to your opponent coming into this first fight of the 2022 season for you?
I'm going to make my mark known. I'm coming here to shake up the division. After this fight, the underdog's going to be on top, and everybody's going to hope they're not going to get matched up against me. I'm a late notice. Bubba's opponent, I don't even know who it was, got hurt. I fought 3 weeks ago. I'm already in the mindset. I don't care who's in front of me. Bubba's the name. Doesn't really matter. Any one of these guys in this division can get it, and I'm a terrible matchup for anyone.
Thank you, Kyle, and best of luck in your first fight.
Thank you.
Curtis.
Hey, Kyle, this is Curtis Calhoun with MMAnews.com. My first question for you, just kind of talk about how pumped are you to be here in the PFL? Obviously, you touched on it a little bit earlier with this being a short notice opportunity, but how much does this opportunity mean to you?
I'm super excited for this opportunity. This opportunity means everything to me. I finally got a chance to walk away in this game with some money, make a big name for myself, and compete against some of the best guys in the sport. PFL is a phenomenal organization. I love the way the scoring is. I like the 2 regular season fights and the top 4 seeds go and compete for $1 million. If that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what does. I'm looking to put my paws on these guys and get that bag.
And then talking about your matchup with Bubba Jenkins, what kind of fight are you expecting in this one? And what are some challenges that you feel you can bring to him that maybe he hasn't faced yet?
Well, first of all, I think I'm one of the mentally strongest guys in this world. I can bring the fight to anyone. I'm a brawler. I can strike technically. I can on the ground. I can use my jiu-jitsu. I'm extremely difficult to hold on the mat. I got cardio for days, and I think Bubba's going to come out and try to strike with me. And once he feels my power and how comfortable on the feet I am, he's going to panic wrestle, and he's going to do desperate shots, and I'm going to see him gas out. I'm going to see him look at the clock. I'm going to take his soul and finish the fight.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yep.
Lorenzo.
Hey, Kyle, thanks for taking the time for us. This is Lolo from Wookiesburg Pod Network. And my question is, you just had a fight a few weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. That fight went the distance. Congrats on that win, by the way. As a fighter, how do you manage those few weeks between these 2 fights that are so close together? What's the perfect balance, you would say, between recovery and preparation?
I don't know. I was born for this shit. I love to fight. I love to compete. Even if I didn't have a fight, I would be in the gym training like I had a fight. So just to roll one into to have another fight within 3 weeks, it just benefits me. I'm in the mind frame. I'm in the mindset. I walked away from that fight with no injuries. My cardio is exceptional. I just feel like that was a glorified sparring session. All the nerves are out. I'm just ready. I'm just going coasting right now. I worked on some wrestling defense. I'm going to stuff Bubba's shots, and I'm going to blast him in the face.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I just have one more question. As a kid from Boston, I used to go up to Gloucester and pick mussels off the rocks with my family and eat them, right? Thinking back on that now, I think that might not have been legal. My family does think so. My question to you is, have you ever seen anyone else doing something like that up there?
Yeah. I made a living off that. So,
all right, good.
Yeah,
good to hear.
We've all done it.
All right, Kyle, appreciate it. Thank you, man. Good luck this week.
You got it. Yep.
Mills.
Hey, how's it going, Kyle? It's MMA Locker Room, part of Puff Sports Radio.
Hey, Mills, how you doing?
Good, man. I just wanted to say, man, you're on a 3-fight win streak. I remember the introduction I got to you when I was on Instagram. You were fighting in UFC, putting on one of the best fights ever out there. And, I mean, you were actually one of the fighters that would reply to all your people on your page and actually give them comments, backs, and likes. And I'll never forget that. You were one of the first fighters to ever actually respond to me. So, man, you're actually what I would like to call a fighter. When you're in the ring, you're putting on a show. I mean, when they ask me about certain people that I'm going to remember, whether it's UFC, whether it's PFL, any organization, you're one of the names that stands out, kind of like a Donald Cerrone when it comes to this MMA stuff. How do you feel when you actually go into that cage? Like, what do you go in there with in your mind state? Are you going in there trying to play it safe, or are you in a murderous mind state?
A fighter's fighter. That's a great way of putting it. I'm in there to go on my shield, man. I'm not afraid of anything. I'll die in that ring. I mentally prepare myself to get in that cage and expect the worst. And if the worst does come, I'll get through it. I'm not going in there thinking the fight's going to be easy. It's never going to be easy. New challenges are going to be thrown in your face, and you have to adapt and get around it. So this is a new challenge, and I'm looking forward to getting in there and coming out with my hand raised.
Man, I can't wait to see you this week. Let's keep it going, Cal.
Thanks, brother.
Danny.
Kyle, quick question. You're 35, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So just wondering, these type of questions often get brought up with fighters entering, deeper into the 30s. I guess, where are you at career-wise? Have you thought about retirement? Does that even cross your mind? I also know you kind of had a little bit of a late start as well. Where are you at in your career as far as the trajectory and the journey?
Yeah. The trajectory is going up. Everything's intersecting right now. My skill set, my mindset, and my experience. I'm a durable person, and I did start late. So I'm a healthy young 35, if that makes any sense. But being released from the big leagues, it did put doubts in my mind. I did have thoughts about retiring and hanging it up and maybe opening up a gym. But again, it went to the back of my mind very quickly. And I decided that I wanted to keep pushing with this and reinvent myself. So that's what I did. And COVID was probably like the best thing that happened. I got to train for 2 years, button up all the holes, tighten everything up, came on 3-fight winning streak. And now I'm here back in the big leagues, about to shake up this division and get the bag. Yeah.
And a lot of people might not know this, but you entered the UFC with not even 10 fights under your record. Like you didn't have a ton of experience. So I'm curious, after having gone through, the level of the UFC, what kind of lessons do you take away from that run and that experience?
Well, I was learning on the job when I was in the UFC, fighting the best in the world. And man, did I learn a lot. I learned a lot of lessons. I've never been finished. I've never been knocked down. I've never been submitted, gone the distance to everybody. I don't even know how many hours I have of experience in the cage. But it's time to start finish these guys. I believe myself. I'm extremely confident. I'm not here to show how tough I am. I'm also here to show how good I am. And that's what I'm going to do.
Do you feel like that's been a thing that you've sort of realized it? Because it's interesting because throughout your UFC run, people knew, oh, look how tough this guy is. do you almost have to, and obviously that's a good thing, but do you almost have to put that off to a side and be like, look, I'm more than just a tough guy. Like, I'm here to show skills too.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's tough. In this sport, everybody's tough. You could take a shot. A lot of these guys can take a shot. I don't think Bubba could take a shot, but a lot of these guys can take a shot. And you can't rely on that. So you have to also be good. You have to be thinking in the fight. You have to set traps. You have to be thinking, what's this guy good at? I try to stay away from that. I want to put him in the areas that I'm good at and stay out of the areas that he's good at. So like, there's a lot of different things. When I was in the UFC, I was just trying to knock people's heads off, and I became too predictable. And if you look at my last 3 fights, I am very unpredictable. I got cardio for days. I throw everything but the kitchen sink. I'm a fighter's fighter and an exciting fighter.
Yeah. And last question. It just feels like you, skills-wise, mentally, it feels like you're in a really good moment, probably the best of your career, 3-fight winning streak. And now you're in a very respectable promotion. You have a chance here to become champion by just winning fights, no politics, and also taking $1 million, which is a pretty big bag, right? So do you almost see this season as redemption? Do you feel like, in a way you can validate your career this year in 2022?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not thinking about retiring, but this is like a feather in the cap. I had the highs of highs, the lows of lows. I've had a tough career. This is my redemption. This is the Bochniak Revenge Tour. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to beat all these guys. I'm going to become the next PFL featherweight champ and $1 million winner.
Thank you, Kyle. Best of luck.
You got it. Thank you.
Dylan.
Hey there, man. I appreciate you making some time.
Yeah, you got it, Dylan.
I'm just kind of curious because before people were talking about just the fire and tenacity you have in there, but in some of the recent outings, you're talking about like the technicality and the shot selection and stuff like that. Like, what do you really credit to that growth in the fight IQ across the last few fights?
Growing pains. There's levels to this sport. And you have to think in there. It's just not about going in there and just trying to kill somebody. I mean, there's science to it, and you have to be calm in the chaos and pick your shots. You got to set traps, and I'm a very smart guy. I tend to have a tendency of overthinking. So if I just live in the moment and just let it fly and stop overthinking, I'm a very dangerous fighter.
But just also in talking about the like fire and durability, I mean, you were saying it before, everyone in this sport is tough, but people seem to especially also focus on like your durability and fire and how you express yourself in there. Like it seems to exist on a character, like personality level. Like where does that come from, you think?
That just comes from my childhood. I had a tough upbringing, sobriety. I've been sober for 12 years. I have more discipline and willpower and determination than anyone would ever know. It's just something that's inside of you that you can't teach. You have to curate it. You have to mold it. And it's just endless days and years of mental training, trying to get over that. And, I fell into fighting because it was the only thing I could do. It was the only thing that would pay the bills, and I'm good at it. So might as well do it. And I bring that into the fight game. I bring that tenacity, that determination, and that willpower in the fight game. It just carries over. It's just who I am. I was born like that, and I'll die like this.
For sure. Thanks so much for the insights, man.
You got it. You got it, man.
Last one, Mark.
Hey, Kyle, Mark from the Touch 'Em Up podcast again. And it doesn't seem like a lot of people have brought this up, so I wanted to bring this to your attention. You have a teammate in Rob Font who's coming up having a fight very soon, actually the main event against Marlon Chito Vera. Does that give you extra motivation in this camp, being like one of your brothers, one of your teammates, one of your training partners is, coming up almost at the same time as you? You're both having fights very close to each other. Does that give you extra motivation to be like, man, I'm just going to come in here and I'm putting this guy away?
Yeah. I mean, Rob's got a big fight on the horizon. I got a big fight on the horizon. I'm going to be the first one to go. So I'm going to set the tone, get this dub, and it'll carry over for him.
Awesome, man. Thank you. And best of luck in your first fight.
Thank you.